What would you do if your loved one was taken from you in a crime so brazen it was captured on camera, yet years later, the killer remains at large? On a quiet morning in Tomball, Texas, a heart-wrenching tragedy unfolded that has left a community searching for answers and a family longing for justice. Welcome to Mystery Unveiled. Today, we explore the haunting murder of Elizabeth Barraza, a case that, despite clear surveillance footage and numerous leads, remains an enigma. As we peel back the layers of this mystery, we'll examine the evidence, consider multiple theories, and seek to understand how such a calculated crime could occur without resolution. Join us as we honor Elizabeth's memory and strive to shed light on this enduring mystery. On a crisp January morning in 2019, the tranquility of Tomball, Texas was shattered by a crime so perplexing that it continues to haunt the community. Elizabeth Barraza, a vibrant 29-year-old woman known for her kindness and love of all things geek and culture, was setting up a garage sale in her driveway. In mere moments, her life was tragically cut short by an unknown assailant, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a community desperate for closure. Elizabeth was more than just a resident of Tomball. She was a beloved wife, daughter, and a friend. Born and raised in Texas, Elizabeth was married to her husband Sergio Barraza in 2014. The couple shared a deep affection for Star Wars, Harry Potter, and all things related to pop culture, often attending fan conventions in full costume. Their shared hobbies were a testament to their joyful and creative spirits. On January the 25th of 2019, Elizabeth decided to hold a garage sale to declutter their home and raise some extra money for an upcoming 5th anniversary trip to Universal Studios in Orlando, a dream vacation for the couple. Early that morning, around 6:50 a.m., Sergio left for work, exchanging loving words with Elizabeth before departing. Moments later, a mysterious figure approached Elizabeth in the driveway. Surveillance cameras captured the harrowing encounter. The assailant, dressed in a disguise that included a wig and long coat, engaged Elizabeth in a brief conversation before shooting her at point-blank range. The killer then fled back in a Nissan Frontier pickup truck, leaving Elizabeth mortally wounded on the pavement. Neighbors who heard the gunshots rushed to Elizabeth's aid, calling 911. She was transported to Memorial Hermann Hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries the following day. The community was left in shock. How could such a heinous act occur in such a peaceful neighborhood and to such a wonderful person? Law enforcement officials were baffled. The Harris County Sheriff's Office launched an intensive investigation, releasing the surveillance footage to the public in hopes of generating leads. The video showed the killer's calculated approach and swift execution, suggesting premeditation. Despite the high-quality footage and a $50,000 reward offered by Crime Stoppers, the case remains unsolved. Investigators meticulously combed through the footage, noting that the assailant appeared to be familiar with the neighborhood layout. The killer parked the truck a short distance away, walked towards Elizabeth's home, and approached her with apparent purpose. The vehicle, a black 2013 or newer Nissan Frontier, had unique features like a Pro 4X sticker and distinct rims. They became critical pieces of evidence. Yet despite these details, neither the truck nor the driver has been positively identified to this day. Elizabeth's family and friends describe her as compassionate and full of life. She worked at a local hospital as a data reporter and was involved in charity work, including volunteering with a Star Wars cosplay group that participates in charitable events. There seemed to be no reason for anyone to harbor ill will against her. The randomness and brutality of the crime left investigators and the public grappling for answers. Over the years, the case has garnered significant media attention, featuring on national news outlets and true crime forums. Online communities have dissected the surveillance footage, theorizing about the killer's identity and motive. Some have analyzed the assailant's gait, posture, and even possible accents picked up from the audio. Yet, despite widespread interest and numerous tips, no arrests have been made. As we delve deeper into this case, it's essential to understand the gravity of the loss and the impact on those who knew and loved Elizabeth. Her parents, Robert and Rosemary, and her husband Sergio, have been vocal in their plea for justice. They participated in interviews, organized vigils, and continually urged the public to come forward with any information. Their resilience in the face of unimaginable grief is a testament to their love for Elizabeth. One prevailing theory centers around the possibility of a personal vendetta. Could someone close to Elizabeth have harbored a secret grudge strong enough to commit murder? Many point to the calculated nature of the crime. The killer seems to know Elizabeth's schedule, arriving just minutes after Sergio left for work. The disguise suggests an attempt to conceal their identity as well, indicating familiarity. The brief interaction before the shooting hints at a conversation, possibly an argument, lending credence to the idea of a personal connection to Elizabeth. Investigators scrutinize Elizabeth's personal relationships, interviewing friends, family, and co-workers. They looked for any signs of jealousy, envy, or unresolved conflicts. However, those who knew her consistently described Elizabeth as kind-hearted and without known enemies. Her involvement in charitable organizations further solidified her reputation as someone dedicated to helping others. Some speculate about the involvement of a jilted acquaintance or a former friend. Could there have been a falling out that wasn't apparent to others? Social media activity was analyzed for clues, messages, posts, or interactions that might reveal underlying tensions. Despite the rise of digital footprints aiding in modern investigations, nothing suspicious was ever found in Elizabeth's online presence. Despite thorough investigations, no concrete evidence has surfaced to support the theory of a personal vendetta. Phone records, emails, and financial transactions show no anomalies whatsoever. The absence of clear motive in her personal life makes this theory intriguing, yet unsubstantiated. This line of thinking raises critical questions about the hidden facets of human relationships. Is it possible for someone to conceal deep-seated animosity beneath a veneer of normalcy? While the personal vendetta theory offers a plausible explanation, it ultimately leads to more questions than answers. Another significant theory proposes that Elizabeth was the victim of a targeted hit, a planned assassination carried out by a professional or someone with a criminal affiliation. Supporters of this theory highlight the killer's composed demeanor and efficient execution. The assailant approached with confidence, suggesting prior planning and possible training. The choice of a weapon, the precise shots, and the quick getaway indicate a level of proficiency beyond that of an average person. The black Nissan Frontier used in the escape has been a focal point. Investigators believe the vehicle might be linked to other criminal activities, but the truck's generic appearance complicates identification efforts. Law enforcement checked thousands of similar vehicles registered in the area, but found no direct links to the crime. This theory raises the possibility of mistaken identity. Could Elizabeth have been inadvertently targeted due to a case of mistaken identity or misdirected retaliation? Perhaps someone was the intended victim, and the killer struck at the wrong address. This angle was explored, but no evidence has surfaced to suggest that Elizabeth's home was confused with another. Something else to think about: was Elizabeth privy to information that could have made her a liability to criminal elements? As a hospital employee and charitable volunteer, it's unlikely, but the theory suggests exploring all avenues. Investigators delved into her work environment and charitable activities, but found no connections to criminal organizations. Law enforcement agencies have consulted with experts on contract killings to analyze the killer's behavior. The lack of theft or apparent motive aligns with the hitman's actions. Eliminate the target swiftly without drawing unnecessary attention. However, Professional hits are typically associated with significant motives, such as financial gain or silencing someone who knows too much. Yet gaps in this theory remain. There's no evidence linking Elizabeth or her family to criminal activities. There's no threats reported prior to the incident, and no demands or communications following the murder. The absence of a motive makes the targeted hit theory less convincing. This last theory ventures into a more conventional territory, a random act of violence perpetuated by a serial offender or someone with severe psychological disturbances. Some suggest that the killer is a serial predator operating under the radar. The boldness of the attack suggests a level of brazenness associated with serial offenders who grow increasingly reckless. They argue that the killer may have attacked before or since, potentially connecting Elizabeth's case to other unsolved crimes. This theory examines similar unsolved cases in Texas and neighboring states, looking for patterns. However, law enforcement agencies haven't publicly linked Elizabeth's murder to any other crimes. The unique circumstances of her case make it challenging to find parallels. Another angle considers the killer's attire and behavior as indicative of mental illness. The disguise might not have been solely for concealment, but could reflect a disturbed mental state of mind. The seemingly unprovoked nature of the attack aligns with crimes committed by individuals experiencing psychosis or other severe mental illness issues. Skeptics point out the meticulous approach of the killer, which contrasts with more erratic actions of those with severe psychological distress. Moreover, random crimes typically have less planning and occur in more opportunistic settings. The killer's deliberate actions suggest intent rather than impulse. Having looked at all the theories surrounding Elizabeth's case, I find myself gravitating towards the first theory, the personal vendetta theory. And here's why. First off, the timing of the crime is highly suggestive. The killer arrived mere minutes after Sergio left for work. This precise window indicates knowledge of their daily routines. Such awareness is more likely to come from someone within their social circle rather than a random assailant or a professional hitman. Also, the interaction between Elizabeth and the killer captured on surveillance is telling. There appears to be a brief exchange before the shooting. This moment suggests that Elizabeth might have recognized the individual, or at least didn't perceive an immediate threat. A strange or a visibly threatening figure would have elicited a defensive reaction from her. The disguise worn by the killer is also intriguing. The wig and long coat could be an attempt to obscure features familiar to Elizabeth. If the killer did anticipate being recognized, the disguise would serve to conceal their identity just enough to get close enough without raising alarm. Also, the level of the attack, multiple shots at close range, reflect a personal animosity. This level of aggression often stems from emotional motives rather than a detached professionalism. It indicates a desire not just to kill, but to ensure the act is final. Critics might argue that the lack of known conflicts in Elizabeth's life weakens this theory. However, human relationships are complex, and not all tensions are visible to outsiders. It is possible that an unreported issue or a hidden resentment did exist. Perhaps someone harbored feelings of jealousy that festered beneath the surface. The absence of theft or any apparent secondary motive further supports the idea of a targeted personal attack. The killer's sole focus was Elizabeth, no attempt to steal valuables or harm others. Perhaps the key lies in a subtle detail, a passing comment, a brief encounter that could unravel this mystery. Elizabeth's case is a reminder of the hidden intricacies in people's lives. It challenges us to look beyond the surface and consider that sometimes the answers we seek are concealed in the shadows of the familiar. The lack of resolution not only prolongs the family's agony, but also leaves a community in fear, knowing that a killer remains at large. So what do you think? Could there be a facet of Elizabeth's life that holds the key to this enigma? If there's someone out there who knows more than they've shared, the quest for justice continues, and perhaps together we can light the path forward. If you have any information related to Elizabeth's case, please contact the Harris County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. The information is in the description. Your engagement keeps these important stories in the public eye, where they belong. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Mystery Unveiled, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.